Good day, YouTube. Today I want to talk about the topic of being a student of life every day for the rest of your life. And it begins with you. So I'm sharing with you what I believe in, how I see things. Be a student of life. I went to a concert last night with a friend of mine, local venue, small place, not a lot of people. It was a good time for me to catch up with a good friend of mine who I want to bring and onto this channel and share his story. But my point is, I went to a concert last night and I like to people watch. I like to see, during breaks, of course, of the music, just watch people. You see people who are older, younger, and everybody's living their own life. And people watching can happen not only at the mall, but anywhere you go. And I love to people watch. I love to interact with people. In fact, I've said this before, people are my business. When I say be a student of life, I may go to a concert or anywhere and enjoy the moment, but I'm also observing what people are doing and in a very non-threatening way. It's not like I'm there with a checklist. No, I just happen to see things. In fact, most of the times I go and that's not my intention. But I start to people watch. And I like to see the successes of people. I also like to see, I don't like to see, but I notice the challenges that people may go through. So when I say be a student of life, this is what I do. I like to watch. There's a saying out there. I'm not even going to bring it up because I forgot it. But I like to watch, and I like to learn, and I like to adjust to things that I need to in life. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't like it. An example is whatever it is that you're doing, how's that working out for you? If it's working out good, great. If it isn't, hopefully you're aware of that. And my recommendation is do something different. Do it different. Because if you're doing the same thing over and over and over, you're going to get the exact same result. Dave Ramsey has an example of a saying that says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and expecting a different result. So when I say it's about making adjustments, that's what I have to do often, even at my age, is if it's working for me, great. If it's not, I'm going to look at it, review it, make some adjustments. In the end, I don't think life is that difficult or complicated. We as individuals can complicate things, and I'm no different than that. I can make things different. So when I go back and look at things in my life, what's worked and what hasn't, let's focus on the things that hasn't. Why? Usually it's because there was no plan, there was no structure, there was no vision, there was no being open to doing things different. In the Air Force, in my time in the Air Force, I've taken a lot of personality tests. I think this is very helpful. So I took one a few days ago. It's called ProScan by PDP Global. Never heard of this one. I had to do this because I was directed to do it, and we're going to have some training. So this is a good thing. It's kind of like mandatory fun. There is that saying in the Air Force, or at least in the military. There's also you volunteer or you're voluntold. So mandatory fun, I'm not really crazy about, but I have no choice, and I'm there. And at the same time, I'm getting paid for this. But at the same time, I'll look at it a different way and what can I learn? This personality test is very important. And there are many out there. There's True Colors, there's 4Lenses, there's PDP Global, which I've never heard of before. And they're going to tell you what type of person you are. That's where it begins. And that is where if you know yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, what you bring to the team, whether it's a relationship, whether it's work, what your fears are, you can work on that. And that's being a student of life forever. This is saying, I will read it real quick, that I'm moderate, supportive, I'm sincere, I'm adjustable, I like change, I like versatile, I like structure, I'm careful, orderly, and I validate inner sense. So it puts me in a zone. Significant capacity for accomplishing tasks, achieving with high success need extra activities to utilize energy. My channel, YouTube, is a perfect example of an activity that I do for various reasons. I love to interact with people. I love to share something that I learned by watching someone, whether they're younger or older, and hopefully I can help someone. It's kind of like mentorship, but unofficial. I'm very laid back, and this is also saying that the more stress I get, the less pleasant I become. I think that's normal for a lot of people. It also says that the more stress I become as an individual, the more direct I get with individuals. That may work in the military environment or at work because we're there for a reason to get the job done. That can be challenging at home on the personal side because I've had my wife tell me, who's not in the military, never served, she says, the way you speak sometimes to her, to my wife, is very direct. And I'm listening and I'm thinking, okay, my intention isn't bad. I know that, that's what I'm thinking, but she doesn't know that. So that's an example of making adjustments where communication is going to take us a long way. When I say be a student of life, I think it's going to benefit me first and foremost. If I can become a better person, I can share that with my family, with my wife, with my children, with my teammates, with the audience here on YouTube. And that's what I'm about. That's where I'm going to invest in myself. At the same time, we have to have a release. So what is my release? I ran literally for many years because it felt so good. It was just a release. Now I really can't, but now I have to catch myself. When I say I can't because my knees hurt and I have plantar fasciitis, so it kind of hurts. And I won't run on the pavement. I'll run on the treadmill maybe just for 10 minutes, that's it. And at a slow pace, but it gets my heart going. That's me taking care of myself. That's me knowing what works for me and makes me a better person. I have a lot of conversations, private conversations with my wife. Stuff that I would never really say it out loud. I may think it, but it's just a sounding board. And it's also a way for me to realize forever that I'm no different in the sense that I haven't figured life out. Life is good for me in many ways, but I'm still a work in progress. I hope that you are an individual that is open to growth, self-growth, and maybe growth with others as well. If you are, great. If you're not, then that is going to be a challenge. And I don't want that. I don't wish that upon anyone, of course. I also think that we are a product of our decisions in life. We have so many decisions. Sometimes it can be harming in a way. So think about that. Think about where you are. And if it's working for you, great. If it's not, make some changes. Always be a student of life. It's worked out for me. And 10 years, 20, 30, 40 years from now, I hope to be that same person where I'm still learning new things. But life is sweet. I want to leave you with a positive note. And I come from dysfunction, alcoholism, no communication. Those were my roots when I was growing up as a boy in Los Angeles. And I've been blessed with outlook, where my outlook is glass half full. And I don't like that, so I'm going to try this. I like what he or she is doing, so I'm going to follow and emulate what they're doing. Hopefully this has been very helpful for you. Invest in yourself and celebrate your life. Take care.